We find ourselves here again in Brockville, Ontario with Ganahunya, and she has a special gift of transferring her spiritual thoughts and emotions into amulet bags. Amulet bags are made by hand, take how many hours?
Anywhere from 35 to 40 hours from the beginning to the end.
Per bag. And how many beads do you think is going to be in one of these little critters?
Well, a small bag would be around 10,000 beads. But if we embellish, as we tend to do, when we want to be very creative, we can go up to 20,000 beads in one bag.
And each bead is put on one at a time.
One at a time.
Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at some of these beads that she's created.
Now this bag, I was inspired by watching the smoke dancers at a powwow, and one of the dancers had this emblem on the side of his, beaded on the side of his arm, and so I took a picture of it and came home and designed my own design, and the colors that I picked were similar to the colors that he had when he was dancing. The bears at the end here, I put there to establish the fact that this is a very strong bag and has a lot of strength to it. So
Now the amulet bags are usually worn by the females to hold precious treasures like hair, locks of hair from their child, umbilical cords, fingernail clippings, anything special that stays next to their heart for emotional healing. So we'll go on to another bag, and the strap intrigues me because the strap is not just something that's added, is it? It's part of the bag.
it is part of the bag, and there are no seams in this bag at all. The only seam that is in this bag is at the end where you add your delicas or your dangles, which enhance the bag. The bag itself and the strap are all one together.
And this is the Haudenosaunee symbol in the center, and I like this one because it's got a turtle in the middle of the Haudenosaunee center, because I'm Turtle Clan as well as she is.
And that obviously is why I was inspired to create this bag, because it is so close to my heart. And I hope that whoever it ends up in will take that spirit that came with it.
Now these bags, you're talking about a whole week to make these bags, and all the time and material. How much are we talking about selling these bags for?
Well, at this point, we sell them for $295 when we go to an art show. And we really, with all, we figured it out, and we really are not making a lot of money, put it that way.
Now this particular bag is named?
This one is the Moonlight Sun. And this, to me, is inspiring because this means this is the moon. This is the moon with the dark sky. And these are the waves and stuff. And so on this I have double beaded with raised embroidery. So it stands out where these waves are crashing and stand out coming towards you. So.
And this raised embroidery is something totally different than just the flat bags. It's
yes.
A whole different concept.
And this one I call an everything bag, and it's a kind of a fun bag. It really doesn't have significance as far as historical, but to me it reminds me of all the nationalities that are in this world, that are all coming together, and they're all dancing, and they're all having fun, and that's why I call it a fun bag. So.
Now these bags originally, there were two different types. There was a medicine bag used for herbs and spices and things to heal you, and there was also the amulet bag, and that was worn for your mental stability, or the stability of your soul, and that's what these amulet bags are for. Here comes my favorite one coming up right here.
And this bag, I really love this bag, because to me this is a mail bag, and it has such strength in it, because it also shows the buffalo, the warrior, the feathers, and of course the cross. And so what more do you need for strength than this? And so I really was inspired when I made this bag, and it continues to be one of my favorites.
Now this is a gift, transferring your feelings into something so delicate. And it's time-consuming and expensive. The beads we hear were an invention of the Slovakians. Finally came up with a glass bead rather than the little seed beads and pieces of leather and feathers or whatever they used, so that it made it so that you could make the patterns understandable. But the thing that amazes me is when you get done of a week of labor, not including all the design time, you're looking at what, about $1.25 an hour?
Something like that.
Oh,
pretty
man.
cheap.
But and you also stated to me, which tickled me, is that you really enjoy meeting the people that appreciate the value of these bags.
We do.
They're not everybody, but the ones that do really make it enjoyable.
They do. And when you have that spiritual connection, you know that you have created that bag especially for that person, and not knowing who it is. And the fun part is that you find out who has that connection, and who says that is my bag, and this is the one that I want.
And you run into people who, just like the land that you went to and realized, uh-oh, this is me. They see a bag and they cannot walk away without it.
That's right. And they say, that's my bag right there.
Well, thank you very much for the time. I truly appreciate it.
You're welcome.